It's, you don't want the subject to look into the camera.
Okay.
I'm focusing right now on the light. I don't want to focus on the lens. It takes away the realism.
Okay, go for it. Start again.
Okay. My name is Michael Richard Pena. I've been studying photography for about a good 2.5 years. It's very funny how I started off in photography. I was more into video, and my friend purchased a Blackmagic, which is a pocket cinema camera, and I wanted one. And I wanted to see how you could actually control the camera rather than like a Sony Handycam, stuff like that, you know. Control the settings, and you know. And he recommended me, like, before starting off with a Blackmagic, which was close to $1,000. Start off with the DSLR, and I had no idea what a DSLR was. I knew what a point and shoot was. I had no idea what a DSLR was. So I researched, and I tried to find the most affordable DSLR with, you know, megapixels, best megapixels, high megapixels, but obviously as an amateur, high megapixels is what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So I found this mirrorless camera. It was called Canon EOS-M, and it's actually here now. This is the first camera I purchased. And that's where I learned pretty much. And I did do some video, but then I explored the photography elements of the camera, and I realized, well, that this camera isn't mainly focused on video. You know, I started off with like just what I've always wanted to start off with gore and horror. That's pretty much what I wanted. And of course, like, for the longest time, when I looked at videos, I saw this nice quality and stuff, and I realized that they were using After Effects and Sony Vegas to edit their photos, and to not only add their special effects, but to color correct. And it was a big deal, and I didn't like color correction at the time. I felt like, well, you're just using that as a crutch. You're using that to just, like, you can record anything, and then you can just record anything you want, and you'll get any color you want. You know, you're using it as a crutch. But I personally didn't want that. I personally edited the settings to what I liked, and which I liked was more saturation, a little bit more of the greens than the magentas in my film. And the reason why I chose photography was because I wanted to get the most of my camera, and I realized, in a perspective as a filmmaker, what would impact an image as much as a film. Right. So I put up my settings, obviously, through the camera, and I didn't use Photoshop or Sony Vegas, any programs out there. And I just realized, like, look, man, if I'm more of a person of staging things, and I'm more of a person getting the message out there through the photo rather than the quality. And that really helped me as a photographer now than I was back then, just shooting. And, you know, like, I was realizing the angles I would use when filming, I would use the angles in shooting as well, and I really appreciated photography way more than I ever had. Yeah, here in the valley where we grow up, when you focus on photography, you don't really have a mentor or anything. So when you learn about photography, you kind of just have to teach yourself, because there's not many photographers out here where you can contact and ask for help. Where I shoot mainly in Brownsville, it could be anywhere because I'm more into staging photography, but a big community here in the photography community, and I know it kind of contradicts myself into saying, like, well, you can't really find a mentor in photography, but the more you go out, the more you find out there's more photographers than you would expect. Well, personally, where I'm going to take photography and cinematography or any videos I create obviously has to relate to gore or some sort of horror in it. I want to direct my audience into into some sort of violence, you know. Not just violence you would see like someone getting stabbed from a person trying to mug them, but more into how the fuck does a VHS have guts and organs and a heart in it and a brain? You know, I'm more into like surreal stuff, and it doesn't matter what camera you have. It doesn't matter if you have a DSLR or a point and shoot. It doesn't matter if you have the camera that's on your phone. It matters. Capture what you want. Capture the moments you want. You know, there's so many different things. Use an old Polaroid camera and capture it with the right lighting. There's so many things you could do with photography. You don't have to capture the moment with the DSLR. Where I see myself in the future or within a year, I don't see myself as just a photographer. I see myself creating art and capturing it. Creating something that nobody's seen and nobody's thought of and capturing it. It's better than just taking photos of a painting and saying, oh, well, I captured art. This is a different meaning. You're capturing someone else's art. I'm capturing my own art and keeping it archival. And that's where I'm going for. Just creating art through photography. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon.